Moscow's intelligence service has issued a stark warning. It claims Kyiv is preparing a false flag provocation in Poland, staging a sabotage group disguised as Russian and Belarusian special forces.
Another provocation is in the works. This time, the plot revolves around a sabotage and reconnaissance group, SRG, deployed to Polish territory, allegedly composed of Russian and Belarusian special forces personnel. Candidates for participation in the staging have been selected. These are militants from the Freedom of Russia Legion and the Belarusian K. Kalinovsky Regiment, fighting on the side of the Ukrainian armed forces.
The fighters, Russia alleges, will actually be anti-Kremlin units fighting for Ukraine, paraded before the media to incriminate Moscow. The SVR even warns of a simulated attack on critical infrastructure to inflame outrage.
The provocation scenario was developed by the main intelligence directorate of the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, jointly with Polish intelligence services. It is possible that the orchestrated operation will involve a simulated attack on critical infrastructure in Poland in order to heighten public outcry.
The warning came as NATO leaders met at the Warsaw Security Forum. Defense chiefs accused Russia of intensifying provocations, pointing to drone and fighter jet incursions into Poland and Estonia.
The most recent manifestations of this aggression were Russian drones and fighter jets that entered Polish and Estonian airspace 2 weeks ago. This is unacceptable. It is a violation of international law, and it is an irresponsible provocation in times of already heightened tensions. And that is why it is suitable for causing very dangerous misunderstandings. These acts have shown us once more Russia is becoming more and more of a threat to NATO. It is testing NATO allies with growing frequency and intensity.
Pistorius announced new Eurofighter deployments and counter-drone units, but also admitted a painful truth. Europe is weary of Ukraine's war. He warned far-right parties are feeding on this fatigue, but insisted there is no alternative to supporting Kyiv.
But still, there is a kind of war fatigue, especially when it comes to Ukraine. I can't deny that, nobody can, because it's going already for 3.5 years, and the end is not visible.
Estonia and the Netherlands said Europe must spend even more. Tallinn is pushing defense above 5% of GDP, while The Hague said costs are painful but unavoidable.
Next year it will be already above 5% in core defense, not 3.5 plus 1.5. So core defense will be 5, and it will go to 5.6 by 2029.
If we do not spend it now, then the cost will be much, much higher in the future. But still, it is, of course, it's also painful to either raise taxes or to bring down government costs.
Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk went further, declaring bluntly, "This is our war." He said ignoring Ukraine risks the security of Western civilization.
This is a question of security and the survival of the entire Western civilization. This is our war, because the war in Ukraine is just part of this dreadful project that appears in the world from time to time.
As Moscow pushes its warnings of staged provocations, European leaders struggled to balance fatigue at home with threats abroad. With Poland calling the war existential, Germany admitting exhaustion, and Russia framing Ukraine as reckless, the real battle may no longer be just on the front lines, but over who controls the narrative of this war and whether Europe can hold its line